Hello friends, welcome to State Engineering Service Examination section of Winds of Change. We will cover so many questions from the civil engineering topic here from Expert IES. You may contact us at windsofchange2020@gmail.com, and for the study material you can download from the link given in the description box. You can subscribe to this channel to stay updated for more videos. You may like these videos if you feel useful for you and comment for any feedback. Welcome to 150 questions of environmental engineering. We will cover questions from water supply, wastewater engineering as well as solid waste management. We will cover these 150 questions into 3 parts of 50 questions each, and all the questions will be explained properly by Expert IES. So let's begin. First question: if the efficiencies of BOD removal at first stage and second stage trickling filters are each 65%, then what is the overall BOD removal efficiency of these filters? Since in the two stages the BOD removal efficiencies are being given and we have to find out the overall efficiency, that is the combined efficiency of these two. Options are 65%, 77.25%, 87.75% or 92.6%. So here we have to memorize one formula here, that is the efficiency, the overall efficiency will be 1 minus N1, 1 minus N2. This formula is very important if we have to find out the combined efficiency of two filters, or it is applicable to everywhere where two systems are being combined having different efficiencies, then we can use this formula to obtain overall efficiency. Okay, so the formula will be 1 minus N1 and 1 minus N2. So here it will be 1 minus 0.65 and 1 minus 0.65, so it will be 0.8775. so the answer that will be 87.75%. This is important question. Next question: which one of the following pairs is not correctly matched? Check valve, sluice valve, air valve and score valve. Okay, let's find out which one is incorrect. Check valve, flow can run freely one way only. Okay, check valve or reflex valve, the feature is true. Sluice valve to prevent backflow in a piping system. I think this is the wrong one because sluice valve used to control the flow of water in any direction. Air valve to release the accumulated air, it is also correct. And scour valve to remove silt in the pipeline. At the dead end of the pipeline, scour valve are used. So I think the B is the correct option. Okay, so answer is B. Now let's find out. Sluice valve functions strictly to either start or stop the flow. Okay, the function of sluice valve is to either start or stop the flow. Now sluice gate, knife gate and slide gates are used interchangeably in the water and wastewater control industry. Okay, so first of all, the main thing that we have to memorize is that sluice valve is used for either start or to stop the flow, that is to control the flow. Next question: which of the following chemical compounds can be used for dechlorination of water? Carbon dioxide, bleaching powder, sulfur dioxide or chloramines? This is also important question. Which of the following compound can be used for dechlorination of water? So the answer will be C, that is sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide used as dechlorinating agent. Okay, dechlorination can be done in 3 ways: either adsorption dechlorination by activated carbon, or chemical dechlorination like chemical compounds like sulfur dioxide, or ultraviolet dechlorination using ultraviolet rays. Okay, next question: the type of the valve which is provided to control the flow of water in the distribution system at street corners and where the pipeline intersect is. That means we have to control the direction of the liquid. Okay, so it will be sluice valve. We have already seen it. Sluice valve has to be provided to control the flow of water in the distribution system. Next question: the suitable method for disinfection of swimming pool water is ultraviolet rays treatment, lime treatment by using potassium permanganate or chlorination. So all these methods can be used in the swimming pool. Mainly chlorination can be done, lime treatment cannot be done, and potassium permanganate is also of no use. But ultraviolet treatment, this is a natural phenomena. So this can be very much useful for disinfection purpose. So the answer will be A. Next question: disinfection efficiency. Disinfection efficiency is reduced at high pH of water, unaffected by pH of water, increased at higher pH of water, or highest at pH value equal to 7. So disinfection efficiency, how it is affected by pH, we have to find it out here. So the answer will be A, that it is reduced at higher pH value of water. That means it will be mostly efficient at lower pH values. Okay, so the pH of the water will affect the dominating chlorine species such as HOCl dominates at lower pH, while the hypochlorite ion OCl minus dominate at higher pH. Of the two species, HOCl is the stronger oxidant, therefore chlorine is more effective as an oxidant and a disinfectant at lower pH. Okay, at lower pH, HOCl will be more effective. Next question. The time of concentration is defined as the time taken by the rainfall water to run from the most distant point of the watershed to the inlet of the sewer, or the time required for the flow of water in the sewer to the point under consideration, or sum of A and B or difference of A and B. So this is the total time, that is sum of A and B. First of all, the time taken by rainfall water from the most distant point to the inlet of the sewer, and secondly the time required for the flow of water in the sewer to the point under consideration, okay, where we are considering. So this total time is called the time of concentration. Next question. The velocity of flow of water in a sedimentation tank is about 5 to 10 cm per second, 15 to 30 cm per second, 15 to 30 cm per minute, or 15 to 30 cm per hour. Okay, so the correct answer is C, that is 15 to 30 cm per minute. Okay, this is important question. Velocity of flow of water in a sedimentation tank. This is very important question. Many times this question is asked in various examination. Next question. Hardy-Cross method of analysis of distribution system involves successive trials, take economic aspects into account, is time consuming. We have to find out which are the correct. Only first and second, first and third, or all are correct. In this Hardy-Cross method of analysis of distribution system, it involves successive trials. Yes, this is a true statement. In this we do trial and error. Okay, we do successive trial and we reach to the result, closer to the result. Take economic aspects into account, and actually it does not take any economic aspects, only the discharge is being taken into account. It is time consuming. Yes, it is time consuming, obviously. So the answer will be first and third, that is option C is correct. Next question. A pipe conveying sewage from plumbing system of a single building to the common sewer or point of immediate disposal is called house sewer, lateral sewer, main sewer, or sub-main sewer. So the pipe which convey the sewage from plumbing system of single building from one building to the common sewer point, that pipe, that sewer is called house sewer. Means it will take to the common sewer, it will not take to the city sewer. Okay, for that purpose we will use laterals. So this is a building, okay, and this is house sewer which take it to the common point, okay, and this is the city sewer. Next question. The depression of water table in a well due to pumping will be maximum. Where it will be maximum? The depression of water table, where it will be maximum? Where R is the radius of influence? At a distance R from the well, close to the well, at a distance R by 2 from the well, or none of the above. So the depression of the water table will be minimum at the well. We already know the diagram. This is the diagram of the water table. Okay, so it will be minimum here at closer to the well. So the maximum depression will be here only. Next question. The suitable system of sanitation for area of distributed rainfall throughout the year with less intensity it is separate system, combined system, partially separate system, or partially combined system. So it is combined system where the rainfall throughout the year is of less intensity. Okay. Next question. In lime soda process, only carbonate hardness is removed, only non-carbonate hardness is removed. Lime reduces the carbonate hardness and soda ash removes the non-carbonate hardness, or lime reduces the non-carbonate hardness and soda ash remove the carbonate hardness. It is also very important question in the lime soda process. What removes what? Okay, so in this we have to memorize that lime soda reduces the carbonate hardness and soda ash remove the non-carbonate hardness. Okay, this is an important question. Always remember this question. Lime soda process, lime reduces the carbonate hardness and soda ash removes the non-carbonate hardness. Next question, scour valves are provided at street corners to control the flow of water. Scour valve, always remember scour valve. Why it is used? This question is also important. At every depression and dead ends to drain out the wastewater that may collect there. At the foot of rising main along the slope to prevent the back running of the water. At summit or rising main. Okay, so always remember at summit or rising main we will provide air valve to remove the air. At foot rising mainly along the slope to prevent the backwater flow. For that we will use non-returning valve, reflux valve, and at the street corner to control. For the control we know which kind of valve we will use. We will use sluice valve. Okay, so only the remaining option is at every depression and dead ends to drain out the wastewater that may collect there. That is at every dead ends we will provide scour valve to remove the wastewater. Next question. If the average daily consumption of a city is 1 lakh m cube, the maximum daily consumption on peak hourly demand will be. This is also important question. It is being asked that maximum daily consumption on week hour. So we have to multiply it by both the factors, that is maximum daily factors to the average daily and peak hourly factor to the average hourly. So this factor is 1.5 and this factor is 1.8. So we multiply it by these two, that is 1.5 into 1.8 into 1 lakh, it will be 2,70,000 m cube. Okay. Next question. Sewerage system is designed for maximum flow only, minimum flow only, average flow only, or maximum and minimum flow. So sewerage system is designed for both maximum and minimum flow. Okay. In the minimum flow we have to provide the minimum self-cleansing velocity. Next question. The process of lagooning is primarily a means of reducing the excessive flow in sewer, disposing of sludge, increasing the capacity of storage reservoir, or increasing flow of sewage through emerged tank. So lagooning process, we have to memorize here what is lagooning process. The lagooning technique is a natural treatment technique that consists in the accumulation of wastewater in ponds or basins known as biological or stabilization pond, where a series of biological, biochemical and physical process takes place. Okay, so in this we create a wastewater pond or basin in which the accumulation of wastewater occurs, and where we will go for the stabilization of it, there will be biological, biochemical and physical process that takes place. So it is a process we can call as disposal of sludge. Next question. The ratio of 5-day BOD to ultimate BOD is about 2/3. This is not a significant question. Next question. A type of valve which is provided on the suction pipe in a tube well is. On the suction pipe in a tube well, which kind of valve we will provide? Air relief valve, reflux valve, pressure relief valve or sluice valve. So here we will provide reflux valve at the suction pipe of the tube well. Why? Because we don't want the backwater to flow back. Okay, we have to take out the water from the tube well. So we will use reflux valve or non-returning valve. Next question. For a given discharge, the efficiency of sedimentation tank can be increased by. Efficiency of sedimentation tank, how it can be increased? Increasing the depth of the tank, decreasing the depth of the tank, increasing the surface area of the tank, or decreasing the surface area of tank. So the answer will be C, that is increasing the surface area of tank. As much will be the surface area, that much will be the efficiency of sedimentation tank. That is that much will be the quantity that can be discharged per unit area. So efficiency is nothing but the performance of the sedimentation tank. It is maximum when the maximum amount of suspended particle in the raw water are separated. Okay, in sedimentation tank, efficiency purely depends upon the settling velocity and overflow velocity, and these do depends upon the surface area of the tank. Okay. Next question. The settling velocity of a particle in a sedimentation tank depends upon depth of tank, surface area of tank, both depth and surface area of tank, none of the above. So the answer will be surface area of tank. We have already seen in the previous question. Here we have already seen that these velocities, settling velocity and overflow velocity, they depend on the surface area of tank. That is why the surface area of tank affects the efficiency of sedimentation tank. So here the settling velocity of particle in the sedimentation tank will depends upon the surface area of the tank. Okay, it is Q upon surface area only. Next question, the population of a town in 3 consecutive years are 5,000, 7,000 and 8,400 respectively. The population of the town in the 4th consecutive year according to geometrical increase method is. It is also easy question. Okay, first of all we have to do it using without calculator. This question is not of the calculation purpose. So we have to find out the increase, the R1 and R2, that is the rate of increment of the population. First of all, the rate of increment between 5,000 to 7,000, it is 2,000 and base is 5,000. So this rate will be 0.4. Okay, and next time it is from 7,000 to 8,400. So increase is 1400 upon 7,000, it is 0.2. So we will take the average of these two. If we have been asked for using geometrical increase method, so we will take the rate that is the average of these two rates. It will be 0.3. So from the last population, that is 8,400, if we multiply it by 1.3, that is 1 plus R, then the answer that comes out to be 10,920. Okay. So this is how we will perform the geometrical increase method. Next question, the suitable method for forecasting population for a young and rapidly increasing city is. So the previous method which we have already seen, the geometrical increase method, because it is rapidly increasing. So we have to apply the ratio, that is in what ratio it is increasing. Okay. Next question, average rate of water consumption per head per day as per Indian standard is 100 liter, 135 liter, 165 liter or 200 liter. It is also very important question and very easy question. We have to memorize the value, that is 135 liter. 135 liter is the average rate of water consumption per head per day as per Indian standard. Memorize it, it is very important. Next question, the suitable layout of distribution system for a city with roads of rectangular pattern is. Whenever they say rectangular pattern, I don't think you need to see the options in the grid iron, dead end, ring system or radial system. Obviously in the rectangular pattern we will prefer grid iron system. Okay. Next question, the pipe which is used to carry the discharge from sanitary fittings like bathroom, kitchen, etc. is called. The pipe which carry the discharge from these places, what are these called? Waste pipe, soil pipe, vent pipe or anti-siphonage pipe. Okay, so this pipe which takes discharge from bathrooms or kitchens, these are called waste pipes. Okay, these are waste pipes. Now what are other pipes? Let's see. Soil pipe. Soil pipe is a pipe that conveys sewage or wastewater reliably either from toilet or sink to a soil drain or sewer. Okay, so mainly this is for the night soil, that is from the toilet. Now vent pipe, a drain waste vent is a part of a system that allows air to enter a plumbing system to maintain proper air pressure to enable the removal of the sewage and grey water from the dwelling. Okay, so it will not let the pressure being created inside the pipe because of the absence of air. Okay, so that is why drain water vent pipe is used. It takes out the foul smell, foul air to the top of the building. Okay, next anti-siphonage pipe. Anti-siphonage pipe is the pipe connected to the outlet of toilet. The pipe is fixed to maintain the water seal to prevent the entry of gases in the toilet, which we have already seen. There are different types of pipe like P type pipe in which we prevent the entry of gases in the toilet. Okay, so these are directly attached to our toilet. Next question, the effect of increasing diameter of the sewer on the self-cleansing velocity is. So if we increase the diameter of the sewer, the self-cleansing velocity will increase. Okay. The self-cleansing velocity, in this we can see that the self-cleansing velocity formula is 1 upon n r raised to the power 1 by 6 ks into specific gravity minus 1 dp raised to the power 1 by 2. dp is the diameter of the particle size, Sg is a specific gravity of the particle, Ks is a constant, its value is 0.8. So it will depend upon the hydraulic mean radius, that is self-cleansing velocity, and usually for the pipe, if it is flowing full, it will be given in the terms of diameter only. Like if it is flowing full, it will be d by 4. So the hydraulic mean radius depends upon the diameter. If we increase the diameter, the self-cleansing velocity will increase. The rest other factors are non-effective because dp is not the dia of pipe, it is diameter of the particle size. And the other recommendations, you can read it here by pausing this video. I am moving further. Next question. For the same solid content, if the quantity of sludge with moisture content of 98% is X, then the quantity of sludge with moisture content of 96% will be. This is very important question. This question is asked in many examination, even engineering service as well as the state service examination. This question, there are two cases. In the first case, the moisture content is 98%. In the second case, moisture content is 96%. And we have to find out the quantity of sludge. If in the first case, the quantity of sludge was X, then in the second case, what will be the quantity of the sludge? So we will determine it. First of all, let's take X equal to 100 gram of sludge in the case 1, in first case. So the solid weight will become, since 98% is the moisture content, so solid weight will become 2 gram. Okay. Now it is being said that same solid content is being taken in both the cases. Now in the case second, the solid weight is 2 gram and the proportion of solid is, let p gram sludge is taken, then the proportion of solid weight will be 100 minus 96, that is 4%, that is 0.04 p is 2 gram. So this p value, that is the quantity of sludge, this will be 50 gram. Okay, now initially it was, in the first case it was 100 gram, now it is becoming 50 gram. So we can easily say that it has become half. Okay, so the quantity of sludge in the second case will be X by 2, that is option B will be correct. If this type of question is being asked, then we will do it in this manner only. Okay, next question. The relative stability of a sewage sample whose dissolved oxygen is same as total oxygen required to satisfy BOD is 1, 100, infinite or 0. So it is option B, that is 100. Okay, if the dissolved oxygen is same as total oxygen required to satisfy BOD, then the relative stability will be 100. Okay. Now what is sludge stabilization? The objective of sludge stabilization is to reduce the problems associated with the two detrimental characteristics, that is sludge odor and putrescence, and the presence of the pathogenic organism. Sludge may be stabilized by use of lime, by aerobic digestion or by anaerobic digestion. These are the three methods through which sludge stabilization is done. Next question. The alum, when added to a coagulant in water, what does alum do? Does not require alkalinity in the water for flocculation, does not affect pH of water, increase pH of water or decrease pH of water. So alum, when it is added as coagulant in water, what it will do? It will decrease the pH of water. Why it will decrease the pH? Because the pH which can be increased by CaOH whole twice, that is the lime, the presence of lime in the water. This alum will interact with this lime, okay, and it will form flocks. So it will reduce the base content in it, so the pH value will shift toward acidic content, so the pH value will be decreased. Next question. Standard BOD is measured at, this is very easy question, 20 degrees Celsius 1 day, 25 degree 3 day, 20 degree 5 day, 30 degree 5 day. So it is at 20 degrees Celsius 5 day BOD. Always BOD 5 is being taken into consideration. Next question. Velocity of flow does not depend upon grade of sewer, length of sewer, hydraulic mean depth of sewer or roughness of sewer. So let's enter into the Manning's formula and we will find out for what factor the velocity of flow will depend. From the Manning's formula we can see that it depends on the roughness, D cannot be the answer. It depends on the grade of the sewer, that is S0, okay, and hydraulic mean depth, that is R. So it will not depend upon the length of the sewer. So the answer will be B. Next question. The slope of sewer shall be given in the direction of natural slope of the ground, given in the direction opposite to the natural slope of ground, 0 or steeper than 1 in 20. So this is also very easy question. We want the sewage to flow by its own under the effect of gravity only. Okay, like in the distribution system we do not provide any pressure for it. So the slope of the shiver shall be in the direction of natural slope of the ground so that it can flow under gravity. Okay. Next question. The overflow rate for plain sedimentation tank is about. This is also important question. We have to memorize it. 500 to 750 liter per hour per meter square, 100 to 1250, 1250 to 1500, or 1500 to 2000. So the answer here will be 500 to 750 liter per hour per meter square. Okay, memorize it. It is also very important question. Overflow rate for plain sedimentation tank. 500 to 750 liters per hour per meter square. Now, main disadvantage of cement concrete sewer is less strength, difficulty in construction, difficulty in transportation due to heavy weight, or less life. We are asked about disadvantage of cement concrete sewer. Usually we use cement concrete sewer only. Now, less strength, no, this cannot be the case because cement concrete has the highest strength. Difficulty in construction, since these are being constructed as a precast unit, so there is no difficulty in the construction. Difficulty in transportation due to heavy weight, this can be the right answer because cast iron sewers and other types of sewer are much more lighter than this, so there can be a possibility of difficulty in transportation. Less life, it is also not possible because life is very high for concrete sewer. So the option C will be the correct answer here. Next question. Which of the following compounds is widely used for algae control? Sodium sulfate, copper sulfate, sodium chloride, calcium chloride. So in this, which one is used for algae control? We will use copper sulfate, CuSO4, used for the purpose of the algae control. And how it will affect? Copper sulfate is available commercially in liquid, dust and crystal form. It kills algae by binding to it. It will bind to the algae and it kills it, which damages the algae cells, causing them to leak and die. Okay. Next question. Select the correct statement. 5-day BOD is the ultimate BOD. 5-day BOD is greater than 4-day BOD, keeping the other conditions same. 5-day BOD is less than 4-day BOD, keeping the other conditions same. BOD does not depend upon time. Since BOD depend upon time, we already know. And 5-day BOD is not ultimate BOD, so the answer will be from B and C. Now 5-day BOD is greater than 4-day BOD, or 5-day BOD is less than 4-day BOD. Let's see. The answer is 5-day BOD is less than 4-day BOD. Okay, why it is so? Because of this relation, that is the BOD value will decrease with time. Okay, here since in the starting the BOD value will be maximum and it will be decreases with time, we can watch the relation here to obtain the result. LT, that is BOD remaining at any time, and L0 is the ultimate BOD, and this is the relation with e raised to power minus KT, where K is the first order reaction constant and T is the time. Okay, so it will decrease with time. This LT will decrease with time because the factor that is multiplied to it, it is actually a factor in division of it. So it will decrease with time. Next question. The device that are installed for drawing water from the sources are called aquifer, AquaClude, filter or intake. So it is also very easy question, since the device which is installed for drawing water, from the source, it is called intakes. Intake structure, usually intake structure are being made. Next, the treatment of water with bleaching powder is known as pre-chlorination, superchlorination, dechlorination or hypochlorination. So with bleaching powder, the treatment is called hypochlorination. Okay, what is hypochlorination? Hypochlorination refers to the use of the chemicals that contains chlorine but in the concentration below 100%. What does that mean? In other words, the chlorine is chemically bound to the other chemicals. That is why it is called hypochlorination, in which chlorine is not free. The two chlorine compounds we use for hypochlorination include calcium hypochlorite, okay, that is bleaching powder, and sodium hypochlorite, CaClO2 or NaClO. These two are used for hypochlorination purpose. What are the other? Pre-chlorination are being done before chlorination, superchlorination, that is after breakpoint, dechlorination is to remove the residual chlorine. So hypochlorination is the correct answer here, the treatment of water with bleaching powder. Next question. As compared to the higher pH values, the contact period required for efficient chlorination at lower pH values is. At lower pH value, the contact period required for efficient chlorination. Smaller, larger, same, or none of the above. Since at higher pH value, the efficiency will be reduced for chlorination process, and at lower pH value, the efficiency will be increased. So at lower pH value, the time taken, that is the time required, that is the contact period required, will be lesser, smaller. Next question. The disinfection efficiency of the chlorine increased by decreasing the time of contact, decreasing the temperature of water, increasing the temperature of water. The disinfection efficiency of chlorine. Okay, it is related to the previous question only. So it will increase with the increasing the temperature of water. Okay, the disinfection efficiency of chlorine will increase with increasing the temperature of water. Now how it will affect? Warm temperature are designed to increase the capabilities of chlorine, but temperature that are too high may damage the produce. Okay, in general, every 18 degree Fahrenheit drop in water temperature will double the required contact time. So if we decrease the temperature, then the contact time required will be higher, the efficiency will be lower. So if we increase the temperature, efficiency will be higher, the contact time required will be lower. Okay. Next question. Which of the following causes a decrease in per capita consumption? Use of metering system, good quality of water, better standard of living of people, or hotter climate? Decrease in per capita consumption. If we use the metering system, obviously it will decrease the per capita consumption because there will be lesser possibility of losses. Good quality of water will increase the per capita consumption, better standard of living will also increase, and hotter climate, obviously it will increase. Next question. The process in which the chlorination is done beyond the breakpoint is pre-chlorination, post-chlorination, super-chlorination, or breakpoint chlorination. So in this, pre-chlorination is the chlorination treatment given before all the further treatments is started. It is done before the treatment process, and post-chlorination is done after all the process has been done. Okay, so this will be superchlorination process, that is the process in which the chlorination is done beyond breakpoint. So we will see what is breakpoint chlorination here. This is the breakpoint. Since this is chlorine residual and this is chlorine dose, from the starting, first of all, with increase in the chlorine dose, the residual chlorine increases in water. Before this, it is being consumed, and after that there is a point at which the destruction of the chloramines and chloroorganic compounds occur, and we will reach a breakpoint. And beyond this breakpoint, this dose is called the breakpoint chlorination, and beyond this point there will be free and combined residual. Okay, so this much of chlorine which will be added, this process is called the superchlorination. Okay, I have explained it very well in the video of revision of environmental engineering. You can go to this by the link in the description box. Next question. Alum as a coagulant is found to be the most effective when pH range of water is 2 to 4, 4 to 6, 6 to 8, or 8 to 10. So alum works well at the pH of 6 to 8. Always remember it. Next question. Composting and lagooning are method of sludge digestion, sludge disposal, sedimentation, or filtration. So composting and lagooning, these are the method of sludge disposal. There are various methods of sludge disposal in which these are the main methods, that is composting and lagooning. I have explained about the composting also in the revision of wastewater engineering, that is the environmental engineering second video of revision, and you can watch it there, very well explained. Most of the bacteria in sewage are parasitic, saprophytic, pathogenic, or anaerobic. This was question once asked in some of the exam, I don't remember. So it is saprophytic. Saprophytic are the bacteria which are present in sewage. Saprophytic bacteria are the bacteria that do not develop in living organism and feed on the waste generated within it. They are opposed to the pathogenic bacteria that enter the body and grow within it, leading to the infection. Okay, so these are opposite to those pathogenic bacteria. They live in sewage sample only. Next question. The per capita consumption of a locality is affected by climatic condition, quality of water, or distribution pressure. So I think all these will be the one which will be affecting the per capita consumption. The climatic condition, with increase in the temperature, the per capita consumption will increase. With increasing quality of water, obviously the per capita consumption will increase, and distribution pressure will lead to more losses. So it will also lead to the increment in the per capita consumption. Next, alkalinity in the water is expressed as milligram per liter in terms of equivalent of calcium carbonate, magnesium carbonate, sodium carbonate, or calcium hydroxide. So the answer is calcium carbonate. Always we represent the alkalinity in the terms of calcium carbonate equivalent. Okay. Next question, which of the following unit works in anaerobic condition? Sludge digestion tank, sedimentation tank, activated sludge treatment, or trickling filter? Answer will be sludge digestion tank. Sludge digestion tank is the only one which acts in purely anaerobic condition. Rest all these act in a aerobic condition in the presence of oxygen. This is the only one which work in the absence of oxygen. In the sedimentation tank there is oxygen, activated sludge treatment also there will be presence of oxygen, and in the trickling filter also. Next question, which of the following method of analysis of water distribution system is most suitable for long and narrow pipe system? If we are having long and narrow pipe system, then which of the method will be most suitable? Circle method, equivalent pipe method, Hardy-Cross method, or electrical analysis method? Okay, for long and narrow pipe system, always remember we will use in that case equivalent pipe method. We cannot go for any other method. Okay, equivalent pipe method is used for long and narrow pipe system for the water distribution. Okay, so we will be finishing here with this video up to 50 question. After this, the further question will be covered in the upcoming videos. You may subscribe to the channel to stay updated and watch the video of revision of environmental engineering at this channel only. That will be very much helpful for your preparation purpose.